Good morning. I'm in Paris. Good morning.
Bonjour la France, les fils de pute. L'Indonésie c'est le meilleur pays avec les Philippines.
Welcome to the first week of the Paris trip. This was my first time being back in 5 months, which may seem short, but to me felt like forever. I was here earlier in the year for my exchange term, which was in Lyon, and so I got to visit Paris a couple times. It quickly became my favorite city ever. So come along with me for my 2-week and 4-day trip to Paris. This was also my first time ever witnessing fall, so I was very excited. We spent my first full day exploring Bercy, which is the part of Paris that we had never really seen before. We just stumbled upon Bercy Village, which has a bunch of restaurants and boutique stores. It's really quaint and cute. We then made our way to a huge Italian food court. This is kind of outside of central Paris, but in my opinion, definitely worth the commute because it looks super cool and the food is really good. We decided to get pizza, and I got this truffle pizza, which I believe is the best pizza I've ever had in my whole life. It was so good. Day 2 was one of the most perfect days ever. We began in one of my favorite areas, Montmartre, which I'd like to begin with a warning that this is in fact a large hill, and there are many steps involved, but it is well worth it because it is such a colorful, artistic area of Paris with a lot of artistic history. To this day, you'll still see art all around you, even live artists painting as you walk through the square. Before we did that, we got breakfast in Jim's Corner. Jim's Corner ended up being one of my favorite breakfast spots in Paris. Granted, I just got the same thing every single time I went, which was the avocado toast, but it's the best ever. We then proceeded to climb the summit of Montmartre to visit this church, whose name I will not be attempting to pronounce, but it is a beautiful church with the best view of Paris. We like to view it from the garden that's behind it rather than the steps directly in front of it. There's just less people and, in my opinion, a better view of it. There is also a dog park that is nearby it, so clearly this is the place to be. We then took the metro to go to my favorite spot in all of Paris, which is my favorite garden. We are in my garden. Marius, how do you pronounce my garden?
Jardin des Tuileries.
I think this is my preferred garden in Paris, mostly because it's nestled in such a chaotic area. But in the garden itself, it's super peaceful and relaxing. There's always a bunch of dogs. And so you get to enjoy those monuments in your own space.
Old school. Ang gamit, vintage. Ganyan ba pag sa Paris?
Harriet finally joined me and we moved into our sweet apartment in Montmartre. Here is a little tour of it. We just spent the day walking around, exploring Montmartre. Honestly, doing the most mundane things with Harriet is so much fun because we just laugh at everything all the time. Eventually, Harriet had to leave me to go to Italy, so I got to enjoy the apartment and have it to myself for a bit. Then I met up with Marius to get some brunch. We got a savory crepe. I've never had this before. I got one with pesto and tomato and cheese, and it was super yummy.
And then we will do this. Bonsoir everyone. Bonsoir la famille. Bonsoir Paris.
So this is pure homemade sauce. Maman, t'as fait un truc de fou là.
This is my pasalubong, pulveron, lengua, and dried mangoes, but it is gone. Marius, no, it's not funny. It's not funny. Marius, I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm serious. Put me down.
8h dans le train, on part, c'est l'heure de la maison.
Nous, les Français, on a traduit maman, j'ai raté l'avion, on va dans les films, on va l'avion.
While we were in Lyon, we decided to do a day trip to Annecy. Annecy is one of my favorite French cities. I love it here so much. After Paris, this is probably my second favorite city and my biggest recommendation if you're gonna do a day trip anywhere in France. It is so breathtakingly beautiful and unreal because of the mountains and the lake. All we did was get a sandwich, have it by the lake, and just walk around and people watch. Honestly, you can see everything that you need to in one day in Annecy. And we returned back to Paris. I realized that I haven't shown you the Eiffel Tower yet, so here is the Eiffel Tower. Isn't it just shocking? Every time I see it, I gasp and am so in awe of it. I don't know if that's just a tourist's perspective, but I personally think that this big steel triangle is perfect and worth all the appreciation it gets. Okay, this may really be my favorite neighborhood in Paris. It's called Le Marais. It's where I would want to live if I lived in Paris. We started our day in this market, which is where we had our breakfast, and we just walked around. I just feel like this area has a cooler vibe. It has better stores. Vintage thrift stores are really good here. We also went to this place with an amazing courtyard and had coffee and pastries. I remember being really exhausted this day, but we pushed through. We visited the Notre Dame, which is always an insane view. We just walked around. We went to this square that Marius showed me, and we got drinks and snacks there. And then we went to Jardin de Luxembourg, which I'm very sure I've been to before in the spring. But for whatever reason, it was so beautiful this time around. Probably because it was fall. The colors of the trees and the flowers, it was just in its most beautiful form during this season. And so I ended up coming back here for a photo shoot later in the week. This day, I realized I needed to get some work done and actually be productive. So I went somewhere that was a bit inspiring to me, which was Palais de Tokyo. It's a contemporary art center. I got my breakfast here. It honestly wasn't really good, but it did its job in giving me some inspiration. They obviously have a good collection of contemporary art and a really good bookstore as well. And then I made my way, I saw this insane view. I made my way to the library. And here I was very, very productive. I stayed for a few hours. It's just the most beautiful library I've ever seen. So peaceful. I love life. Do you love life, Marius?
Dude.
I love life. We did the thing. We went to Disneyland. We were a bit on the fence about whether or not we should go, but this ended up being one of the best days of the whole trip. And the food in Disneyland Paris was horrible. And this one was even worse. Okay, this is for my dad. Look at these ducks. They were so funny. I feel like they are trained to be friendlier and funnier than normal ducks. This was the food court. It was so cool, and Mari's got 2 burgers there. We definitely full sent the day. We were there right when they opened, up until they closed, and it was the most fun day ever. I'm so happy we went.
Quelque chose là. Plus tard. Non, en retard, c'est quand tu dis late. Il y avait un bout de fumée avant.
It is the end of the second week and we are down to our last 4 days of the trip. I started recording even the mundane things like grocery shopping and doing our laundry because I knew I would miss all of it, not just the big moments. We spent that night walking along the Champs-Élysées and seeing the Arc de Triomphe, which is a monument that me and Marius really like. We went to this insanely beautiful park. I think it's completely underrated. I'm just gonna be quiet so you can appreciate the scenery. I came back to this garden to do a little photo shoot. I will put the handle of the amazing photographer that I worked with on this. I made a new dress for Fia the Label, and so I wanted to get photos of it while I was here. So you should follow our Instagram if you want to see the photos, hopefully soon. And just like that, it was my last day in Paris. We spent the morning walking around the Marais, in which we discovered this new store, this one, which I found out has the best film photo booth in Paris. There is usually no line for it, and the quality is a little bit better. So I made Marius take a photo with me. We grabbed a mango smoothie from the market, and then we made our way back to my garden, which is a mandatory visit before leaving. We then discovered somewhere new. We both had never been to Galerie Lafayette, so we went up its rooftop and it had an epic view of the entire Paris. To end the day, we went to the canal and just sat by it and relaxed and talked, and we got drinks. By drinks, I mean literally iced tea. And then I visited Marius because he had work that night, and that was the end of the day.
Faut chaque fois to Berlin right now. Instead of going to Germany.